What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the History Hyenas. Chrissy D, Yanni P. Today we're tackling race.
Again. You know, we like to this is this podcast, okay? If we were a circus, we're tightrope walkers.
You're tightrope walkers. Yanni's feeling a little...
Not to be confused with white walkers.
White walkers. Yanni's feeling a little under the weather. I've been sick for about a week. Homeless parents have the antibodies. This is a COVID podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I got COVID from Chrissy, but it's okay. If Chrissy's body handled the COVID and then gave it to me, it took all the bad parts out.
Yeah.
Kept it in Chrissy, and mine is just a cuddly COVID.
COVID.
I hope I don't have COVID. My wife is pregnant.
What are your symptoms?
My symptoms are my head's a little tight.
Okay.
And I just feel a little...
Feel a little yucky. You came in yesterday saying you felt a little yucky.
Yeah, yes, I was feeling a little worn down, but today I feel a little... If I was to describe it, I would go...
Yeah. Did you try to take any meds? Any Dayquil?
No. I tried to I went in the bathroom just now and stuck my thumb in my butt, just give myself a little pep.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Usually
it does work. I just go a little pop, and then it pops me right up.
Do you have clothes here in the apartment, or what do you do?
I don't know, cuz. I don't know.
You just wear the same thing every day?
I wear the same thing every day. I'm wearing the same... outfits. I just masturbated about 16 times last night.
It's what it is, correct.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows what I'm doing?
This fucking pizza box took a beating. Cuz it's 10:25. Should we order some pizza?
Let's order some pizza. I took a walk down by the water.
How great is the water?
I masked up because let me tell you something. And I'm only gonna sneeze because I just put saline expression in my nose. So it got...
Yeah,
it's just water.
Yeah.
I don't want to sneeze because I don't want to let it fly. But let me tell you, nobody's social distancing in Bay Ridge at all.
No, because it's a fucking Democrat disease.
Way, John Jan.
There you heard it right there.
Yeah, nobody cares about it anymore here.
Periodically through our episodes, you can see a little bit on WEPA Wednesdays. We just did yesterday. Chrissy has been doing little parts of his RNC speech that he was supposed to do at the RNC convention, but he couldn't make it because of the baby. He's been doing little clips of it throughout the episode.
Yeah, it's what it is. Fucking Nancy Pelosi's getting her hair done.
It's what she got her hair done in San Francisco. She got caught, and she said she got set up.
Set up, yeah. The barbers at Panache Salon said they would love for Nancy Pelosi to come in here, that they would do something real nice with her hair.
Yeah, they would take a buzzer and they would go,
Yeah, they shave it right off. Fuck out of here.
Because we got an interesting History Hyenas episode.
This is a good one today.
Today we're going equal history, equal hyena.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get. There's logos everywhere. The Chrissy's got a logo shirt on. There's a logo here. And lift your arms for a second. And we got deodorant stains on the side. That means Chrissy put on his deodorant. That happens to me sometimes. Then put on your shirt.
Yeah.
And it gets caught on the way down.
And it's also women's deodorant, I'll have you know.
Yeah. Have you know?
Because, so today's episode...
Your apartment's back on the market just in people...
back on the market, and I'm listed now at $515.
So if you want to
I'm trying to squeeze out an extra $20K.
Yeah, if anyone wants to buy an apartment, it's back on the market. Who knows for how long?
You bet. Yeah, so it's a novelty item. If you want to get an apartment for $515K in Bay Ridge, beautiful by the water, contact me, DM me.
If you want to live next door to a Chinese woman who, at the beginning when Chrissy bought it, just wandered into his apartment and took a look to take a peek.
Yeah, which, by the way...
Remember that time when she just walked in?
Yeah, and I haven't seen that woman since that day. I'm pretty sure the guy next door to me has killed his wife.
It's probably true, and nobody even follows up on that because, you know what? They're out collecting cans.
They're out collecting cans, yeah. What can you do?
They've really cornered that market, let's be honest.
They collect cans. Yeah, it used to be like old white homeless guys.
It used to be like, and then the Asians just took it over.
The Asians took it over.
I mean, that market is cornered by Asians, and it seems like they all are over 65 years old.
Well, it's interesting because the spectrum of Asians is wild. Either they collect cans or they buy apartments in fucking cash.
Yeah.
So it's one or the other. There's no in-between Asians.
No, it's just like us. They don't make a lot of sense. You can't put your finger on them just like you can't put your finger on us.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Would you go gay for a year just for the material?
100%.
Would you do it for the experience?
100%, yeah.
Isn't it a little bad that, like, people don't do... Like, that would be great if just for 1 year you were like, I'm going to choose to live as a gay man.
Yeah.
Just to get some new experiences so I can have some new jokes.
Everybody wants to live in this black and white world where I want to live in a gray world where if I want to be gay for a day or a week or a year, I can do that and get a husband and have property with him and do anything like that. And if I want to go back to being straight, I'll just go back to being straight.
Well, it's funny you say that because the subject of our of our episode today,
Yeah.
wanted to live in a black world,
Yeah.
and he lived in a white world.
Today's episode is about, some may know him as Clarence King, some may know him as James Todd. It depends if you were his black friends or his white friends.
This is a wild, wild, wild tale, my friends.
Yes.
Of, as Chrissy said, a kid who said, you know what? I'm in the last quarter of my life.
Yeah.
I always loved black and Native American women.
Yeah.
I fell in love with a black woman. I'm going to lie to her, create a false identity, tell her I'm a black kid, and I'm going to bang her out, make 5 kids, one of which died, and I'm going to live a double life as a white man in Manhattan and a black kid in Queens.
Because if the thing is, here's the thing, because Clarence King, he died, over 100 years ago. But if I would have known him, he would have died anyway, because make no mistake, if you're Clarence King, James Todd, and you walk past me, I was going to take a bite out of you, because one thing I can't resist, black and white cookies.
And this kid was a black and white cookie. So...
Well, he was white. He's
white.
white. He's got blonde hair and blue eyes.
So he was white.
Yeah, Clarence King, not to be confused with Shuan King, who, by the way, when we get to the story, I believe that Shuan Jeffrey King, stole Clarence King's story, and that's why he named himself Shuan King. Clarence King, he named him after Shuan King. Shuan King named himself after Clarence King because King is not his family last name.
Why not? I mean, his real dad was... Well, I don't know if it's his real dad. Probably. The dad on his birth certificate is a white man named Jeffrey King.
Allegedly.
No. That's what's on his birth certificate.
Who knows? Because he fucking also said that he was a victim of a hate crime, and there's no record of that.
Yeah, there's no record of the hate crime. Absolutely zero. The police report, there is a police report of an incident, but that police report lists him as white and says it was a fight between 2 students.
Yeah, actually, Shuan King should at some point be brought up on federal charges for inciting race stuff, and he actually is like a real, like, devilish criminal. Shuan King, because Rachel Dolezal and Clarence King, it was kind of, they didn't really mean to hurt anybody. They were just doing it. We'll get into the story of Clarence King. They were just doing it for love, but Shuan King is actually exploiting people and causing harm. So I want to see a world where Shuan King gets brought up on charges.
It's interesting, too, because Shuan King has that story of a hate crime where he said, he missed a year of school. He had multiple back surgeries. There's no record of any of that
None
in
of
his
that.
school
So it's lying,
or the hospital. And interestingly enough, Rachel Dolezal, well, he says he had that hate crime happen to him, and that's when he chose blackness after that, because he was like, all right, that made me black or whatever, which is an interesting story. Rachel Dolezal also made up she was sending letters to herself,
right,
like Jussie Smollett did.
Yeah,
Jussie Smollett was sending those hate crime letters to himself.
Yeah.
Rachel Dolezal did the same thing in a P.O. box, which she only had the key of, but the letters would go into there or whatever. She was sending hate crime letters to herself.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And she like burned a cross on her own lawn or whatever. So, but back
because do you ever think about, like, a lot of this is just like entitlement, meaning like people feel entitled for like a lot of reasons. It's like you have to, because we live in such a world where there's so opposite ends of the spectrum. Either you need to be a fucking superstar and feel entitled that way, or you need to be a victim and feel entitled that way. So I feel like if you can't live in the middle anymore and just be an average person. It's like average in especially American society is just not good. So these people that feel insanely average, like a Shuan King, like a Rachel Dolezal, like a Jessica Krug, who we'll talk about all 3 of them, and maybe even like in a way Clarence King, although we'll get into the Clarence King story, he did it for love. But these people, because they can't feel just average and mediocre, they have to pick an extreme and say, I'm now going to be a victim of race stuff as like a sense of entitlement of to say, I deserve something too, because I can't just be mediocre. You ever think of that?
I do think of that, and I think it's tied to the American dream. I think it's tied to what America markets.
Right.
Like you got to make something yourself. You got to be some. We look down on the middle class, on average people. In like other countries, people feel okay with having a job. Everyone here feels like they have to be a rapper, a celebrity, or something. It's just like those lives aren't great, but it's marketed like you have to be famous.
Even extremely rich and wealthy and famous people, most of their day is average.
Yes.
So no matter which way you try to slice it, whether you're a victim, you want to play the victim in the race card, and I'm victimized by everything, and you're on TV for a minute being like, I'm a victim, most of your day, other than the little part you're on TV, you're average. Same thing as fucking Drake most of his day, besides when he posts or does the concert at MSG, leading up to that, it's pretty average. He just wakes up in a hotel or his house, has breakfast like everybody else, brushes his teeth, does some other bullshit, and then for 2 hours in the day, one whatever, he does a big concert. But most of Drake's time is just average. So everything, even if you get to the pinnacle, LeBron James right now, yeah, he has a playoff game tonight, and he has practice before it, but the rest of it is just average bullshit, sitting around thinking of shit to do until he's got time for the practice or the game. Yeah, so we're all average.
There's no question LeBron James wakes up, right? He jerks off, maybe he jerks off like a regular, like
100%.
He'll be like, let me just rub one out.
Yeah, looks at some Instagram models, probably DMs them under some fucking fake account.
Yeah, and then he goes downstairs, he has breakfast or whatever, and then he farts. I mean, LeBron James just farts, he takes a nap, he talks to his kids.
Yeah.
You know?
So what you want, what people who look at, I want to be successful, I want to be celebrity, I want to be this, what you really want is everybody's average. You can't escape at being average, and you can't escape suffering. So I think as human beings, more focus on how do I deal with being average and accept it, and how do I accept suffering? Because from fucking Jeff Bezos being the richest man in the world to the homeless guy who eats his own shit, they're both suffering. It's just different forms of suffering happen for different reasons. But you can't escape either one of them. And there's even Bezos. He's got all the money in the world, but many parts of his day are just very average. So it's just like, I don't know what people want, this illusion. That's why I'm kind of happy the Kardashian show, even though I know it's already ripple effects and all that, and it's not like it just goes away, but I'm kind of happy it's had its time and now it's moving on, because it's a little bit like celebrating these extremes of you got to have this and the big ass and the big tits and this and that. It's really like it fucks with our psyche so much, because the truth is we're all mostly average and we're all going to suffer, and you can't escape either one of those. And the people that do, I think they go to an extreme. Either you become Donald Trump or you become fucking Shuan King, and either way, either I'm going to be noticed because I'm a victim, or I'm going to be noticed because I want to be president of the United States. But it's all just trying to escape the fact that you're fucking average and you're going to suffer.
Dope.
Yeah, and everyone just talks about race all the time. Me and Chrissy are a couple of kids. I mean, I know we share that in common. I just can't wait till we get to a place where, like, not everyone's thinking or talking about race. Who gives a shit? I don't care. I understand there are certain color lines that have been drawn, and we're a historically, systemically racist country. Of course, all that's true. Hopefully, in the future, you just won't think or talk about it that much, because it truly doesn't matter, and a lot of it is kind of made up, because we get to this point in America where you can see that the society continued to try to control where black people are.
Yes.
So you got to understand that is true. Systematically, this is a racist country. There's no way around it, because in our research we learned they kept designating like what made you black, and because they wanted to keep you black, and it made you lower. So if you had one grandparent, it went from octoon to quadroon to mulatto. Yeah. So it was like, and then it
octoon means 1/8.
1/8. You had one. It means you
one great grandparent was black, so therefore you're black.
And then quadroon, what's that? Because you're good at math. You're
4.
4. You had two. Whatever it was, it means you had a black ancestor
I don't know.
At some point.
I don't fucking know. But it's interesting, because the story of Clarence King is he loved black women. The truth. Here's another thing too. What you have to understand is about average and about suffering, yes, but everybody does almost everything, or maybe everybody does everything for puss or dick. Everybody is looking, we are motivated.
Or sometimes both.
So we are motivated.
Or black and white cookies.
Exclusively by sex. Sex. So what Clarence King, who was born into a wealthy white family, had an unbelievable job, was friends with some of the most prominent politicians of his day, white hair, blue eyes, loved Native American puss, and he loved black puss. He didn't like white women, even though he had a few white kids, he didn't like them. So one day, in the late 1800s, he's walking through, I want to say it's Central Park, even though it's not such a park.
Riverside Drive, something like that.
Riverside Park.
Or down by the water. He's in New York taking a stroll.
He's taking a stroll by the water.
By the water.
So the late 1800s, he's taking a stroll by the water, and he sees this woman, Ada Copeland, who was a fucking black piece, like Candace Owens, who was a fucking black piece who politically had some nice opinions. She was a piece. Even though Clarence King was a prominent white geologist, he actually was the first director of the United States Geological Society, Geological Survey, which still exists today. So white. He sees this black woman, Ada Copeland, and has to make a split decision. He knows him being a white man he's not going to be able to get with this black piece because it just wasn't acceptable at that time to do that. So he stops and sees her and introduces himself as James Todd, a light-skinned black man who is a Pullman porter in Brooklyn. And at that time, a Pullman porter, which is the work on the railroads, was an exclusively black job. So to sell his fucking story, he says, hey, baby, I'm James Todd and I'm a Pullman porter, you heard? What?
Now, do you think he went out prepared with that story in case he met a piece, or just in the couple of moments before he approached her, he was like, who are you? Okay, I'm James Todd. I'm a Pullman porter. I'm black. I'm a black guy now.
Yeah.
I mean, they always say if you want to get women, lie, like tell them you're a minor league baseball player or whatever.
Yeah.
Tell them you're rich. I mean, this kid, he just was like, hey, my name's James Todd. I'm a black kid. Let's get married.
Yeah. And so it's
He
interesting.
could have went with a blacker name. He could have been fucking Raheem Jenkins.
And yeah, we'll throw the picture up right here of Clarence King, James Todd. Just the white kid with blue eyes. He's a white kid with blue eyes, and
he looks like Sean Donnelly if Sean Donnelly lost weight.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but it's interesting because we look at him today and we say, look at this white kid with blue eyes. How the hell did he pass as black? How did this woman even believe him? But because of the slavery having the European roots, it was very common at the time, because only the 1880s, for some white people to say that they were slaves and black because of the deep-rooted, or identify as white. Black people would identify as white because they were, slavery wasn't that long ago, and had such European roots.
Like you said, they had one great. If you were a quatroon or whatever, octoon, it means you had one black grandparent or whatever. You looked white, and a lot of those people to pass and move up in society passed as white, portrayed themselves as white. Similarly, he used this to say that he was black.
Right.
So he used the same thing he used the same lie that black people who had a lot of white ancestors, but maybe one or two black ancestors to pass white, he actually did the same thing to pass black. He told her, hey, I got like a black grandparent or something like that.
Right.
Which is basically Shuan King now. It's really coincidental that his name is King. Shuan King says he had a very light-skinned father that his mother had an affair with. That's his story.
That's his story.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
So it all sounds familiar. So you would think, because when, Shuan King, everybody, of course, knows he's white, even though he keeps saying he's black. It's like we all know, and the truth will come out eventually. Just like Rachel Dolezal, who that was like the big news. And how could somebody do that? How could someone pretend that they were black when they were really white? And then you see, this has been happening throughout history. So we found a case all the way from the late 1800s where he's doing it. And you would have to think it's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years before that.
And it's probably a lot of people who've done it who we've never heard of. He got away with it his whole life.
Right.
So he didn't do this until this was like the last 13 years of his life. Of course, he didn't predict it to be the last 13. But in those 13 years, he lived a double life as James Todd.
Right.
A man named Clarence King.
Do we think James Todd is a good black name? Is it a cute black name or a Brute's black name?
I think it's a good one. I mean, I was saying, if you're going to go hard, you go, like Donnell Rawlings always told me, go hard or go home. Go hard or go home. I think he should have went blacker and called himself Donnell Rawlings.
Donnell Rawlings, yeah. If I was thinking of this, if I had to do a black name, I would probably go with a classic one, old New York Jets player. I would go with DeBrickshaw Distefano. That's what I would say. I'm DeBrickshaw Distefano.
Just to get back to Shuan King for a second, no matter which way you slice it, even if he had some really light-skinned black guy, it's a real improbable story that his mom told him at 9 years old. Because the official story is his mom at 9 years old, Shuan King, we're talking about the present-day Shuan King, the activist.
Can't they do his Ancestry.com now and see where his roots came from?
They totally could.
But he won't do it. Of course he won't.
No, he was offered by some black conservative. I think Larry Elder offered him $250,000 to the charity of your choice if you did
and he says no.
DNA test.
Yeah, because he fucking knows. He knows that it's going to come back UK, baby.
But his story is that his mom had an affair behind his dad's back.
Sure.
And he was this kid of that, and his mom told him at 9 years old.
You're right.
That's your real dad.
And is his mother conveniently dead right now?
No, his mom's still alive.
What does his mom say about that?
I don't know, but I don't know if she's alive. I know
I
his
need a
brother
zucchini
died.
slice.
Yeah, his brother died, but tragically, rest in peace, his brother died of like leukemia or some cancer.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But I just think
it's
weird.
probably hard because he was dealing with a lot of fucking stress trying to keep his brother's dirty little secret. So I think you killed your brother, Shuan King, you piece of shit.
Do you think a mom would tell a 9-year-old kid, by the way,
no,
this isn't your real dad. Your real dad is some dude I banged behind his back.
No fucking chance.
This looks like my friend Mark Herstein, who I grew up with, who was a French-Jewish kid.
Look, he looks like he could be Puerto Rican. For sure, he looks like he'd be Puerto Rican.
That's mostly the haircut and the stash.
It's mostly the haircut.
I used to have a stash like that, too, when I was trying to look Puerto Rican.
Yeah, so
black.
So that's it. So
when I grew up, it was very cool. Hip-hop culture was very cool.
So Clarence King, Shuan King, it's interesting that both their last names are King. I really genuinely, my heart believe Shuan King knew about Clarence's King story and got inspired by it. And even though you say it's birth certificate, I just don't believe anything comes out of this fucking kid's mouth. So I think Shuan King co-opted Clarence King's story and is just the new king. So that's just what it is. And I believe much like Clarence King told his wife, his black wife, who she knew him as James Todd, on his actual deathbed in 1901 while he was dying of tuberculosis. He said, by the way, I'm not black. I'm a white guy. I'm white. And I've left you a fortune. I think Shuan King on his deathbed will tell whoever his wife is at the time that, hey, by the way, I've been white this whole time.
Okay, so this is the story. Clarence, he's a geologist. He would explore. He would go out. He was
a fucking nerd.
At the time, he was a nerd. At the time, though, he was pretty internationally famous for some things that he'd done. He was exploring Sierra Nevada mountains. At some point, he exposed, there was supposed to be some diamond rush, and he exposed that there was no diamonds there. He became an international celebrity. He was well known. He was friends with very prominent people, one of which was the grandson of John Adams, President John
Henry Adams.
Henry Adams was a good friend of it, and some kid, Hay, who was also another big deal.
James Hay, who I think was the Secretary of State or something.
So the kid lived in a very prominent hotel.
Yeah.
In Manhattan. He just lived there, and he was single, and then he would cross the bridge and put on a Pullman's outfit or
Cross the
whatever.
Brooklyn Bridge, yeah.
And he married Ada Copeland, and they had 4 kids, and he lived a double life as a black guy with her.
So funny.
And she didn't know.
So funny.
And he would explain his absences from there because he would say, I was on the railroad.
Right.
So my thing is, he must have, in order to pick the perfect profession, so when he's gone on these geological surveys or whatever, he tells Ada Copeland, his wife, he lies.
Right.
Guys are good at lying.
Good at lying.
He says, I'm out.
Not as good as women, though.
Not as good as women, yeah.
Yeah, women know how to lie.
They know how to get away with it. This is pretty good. So he picked the perfect profession because when he was gone for his geological surveys, which was his real work or whatever.
Because you know what I just realized? We're in different seats.
We're in different seats.
Wow.
We're
we never switched.
We never switched back from WEPA. And I'm using your microphone and I got COVID now.
It's what it is.
So he would go on these and tell her he was on the railroad, which is the perfect cover. So that's why she never suspected. He was like, oh, I'm on the railroad. I'm traveling here. I'm traveling there, traveling there. But he wasn't. It was all a fiction, a lie. The guy lied to her. Now, if you're her on the deathbed, when you say, hey, by the way, babe, I'm a white woman, and she goes, that explains that your piece is what it is.
It's what it is. You got a little baby piece.
Wei Zhongzhan.
Yeah, she was like, I was expecting a nice black hog, and instead I got this fucking wart-filled little white dick.
Do you think she goes, oh my God, that makes sense?
No, but you know what I think?
Because your hair and your face, you look like a white guy, now it all makes sense.
Yeah, now it all makes sense. Yeah. I think that truly, because the kid was actually making sticks. He was making real money being a geologist, heading the geological survey, and the kid was making real money. They moved from Vinegar Hill, Brooklyn, which was a predominantly black area of Brooklyn where they were living, but there was a lot of crime there, and it was not a good neighborhood at that time. Then they moved to Bed-Stuy, which Bedford-Stuyvesant was a very top-notch brownstone neighborhood. They moved him there, and then they moved to Flushing, Queens. So because he kept making so much money. So a part of me thinks his wife, who was black, knew that he was lying about something. Most likely his race, or had another affair, or was having an affair. But because they were making so much money, and she was able to get her and her children out of bad neighborhoods and into better neighborhoods, she just turned a blind eye to it.
Or maybe she just didn't ask questions.
Yeah,
she
which
was
is
like, hey, you're
kind of
making money. It's what it is. I'm not going to ask any questions. But yeah, the house in Queens was a nice house, and then they had 4 or 5 kids. Then on the deathbed, he said, I'm white, and I'm leaving all this money to you. Go get it. It's in the care of this friend. You'll get it. And then for the next 30 years, she fought for that money.
Right.
and she never got it. And she had some very prominent people represent her to try to get that money that he was trying to leave to
and
her
they wouldn't
and his
give her the
black
money.
family. Yeah.
They wouldn't give her the money, which because unfortunately he made a deathbed confession, and they weren't going to accept the word of a black woman at that time. And it's just sad part of history because he wanted to give it to his wife, Ada King, but his wife who was black. But you know what? And then so these stories happen where people just want to change their race for either love. They want the victim mentality. They just are. They're so insecure with their own life circumstances that they make something up. The more recent story is Jessica Krug, who.
Funniest one. Let's say
this is the funniest one.
I mean, if we're gonna measure them on funny,
yeah,
Rachel Dolezal was the funniest.
Yeah,
but now Jessica Krug, if they went out on the road, Jessica Krug would headline and Rachel Dolezal would feature.
Jessica Krug, well, if they went on the road, yeah, Jessica Krug headline, Rachel Dolezal featured, but the opener would be Jessica Krug's alter ego, Jessica La Bombalera.
Jessica La Bombalera.
La Bombalera. So Jessica Krug, who's a fucking white woman born and raised in Kansas City.
A Jewish white woman from the suburbs of Kansas City.
Yeah, she took on the alter ego of Jessica La Bombalera and posed as a African Afro-Caribbean woman and actually used it to get jobs and was a tenured professor at George Washington University for like 15 years teaching studies, African-American studies, and complaining about how white people are ruining this country when she, in fact, was a fucking white woman ruining this country.
I mean, it's really great. Can we play a little clip of her?
Yeah, please play that clip.
Talking at the city council because...
on the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I mean, now, is this psychopathy to you? She's a sociopath? What is it? How can you just blatantly lie?
It's psychopath. It's being a sociopath. It's not being able to be okay with the conditions of your life. It's wanting to be a victim. It's entitlement. It's insecurity. Here we go.
So
you think this is Mauricio Rodriguez from Yannis' comedy videos, but it's not.
Hey, I'm Jess Bombalera. I'm here in El Barrio, East Harlem. You probably know this neighborhood
Pause for a
because
second. I just want to make sure the listener understands right now, our fans understand that this is a white woman from Kansas City who has not yet come out publicly and said she is in fact a white woman from Kansas City. She's still playing this charade, and she's still playing this race card, which I genuinely believe at this point, because of the things that are happening in our country, she needs to be brought up on federal charges. There needs to be a charge. You cannot do this.
Now, I disagree. She got away with this for like 3-4 books. 13 years. She made a whole career out of it. She's a professor at George Washington University, very prestigious university with a very prestigious job. She's been able to, if there should be a rule, if you get away with it for 10 years, you've passed the test.
Fair enough.
You've achieved something.
Fair enough.
And you become black.
Fair enough.
You get your card where they say, you know what? Good on you. You fooled us for 10 years. You win.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's almost like, if you're like cheating on your wife for like 10 years and you don't get caught and you have another family, after the 10th year, it's like you have to just now, everybody's just got to be okay with it. There's nothing anybody can do. I won.
There's got to be a statutes of limitations on how long you can be canceled. If you got away with something for 10, 20 years, you can't cancel somebody. You have to tip your hat to them.
Tip your hat.
You have to say, good fucking job, Jessica La Bombalera.
Good job.
We should have to call her Jessica La Bombalera, which is the funniest name. Do you think she was just sitting there going like, in her brain, do you think she talks like that to herself in her brain? Or her brain sounds more like that? Because she's a Jewish girl. She's like a Jewish girl from Long Island, from Kansas City. So do her thoughts sound like this? Or in her own head, does she change it and say, listen, these white motherfuckers here are not yielding their time to me because they gentrify my neighborhood and I'm Jessica La Bombalera and I won't have any time for these fucking white devils coming in my neighborhood because I'm an unrepentant child of the hood. That's it.
That's how she does.
Do you think she thought
100%? 100%.
Do your thoughts sound like this? Hi. Chrissy, what are we going to do today? We're going to wake up this morning. We're going to get ourselves a black and white because we've been good, but we're going to be a little naughty because we can reward ourselves for working out with Anthony. And God, did Anthony look good this morning.
Yes.
Is that how your thoughts sound? But then they come out like, I'm Chrissy, I'm a guy, but in your brain, what does the voice in your head sound like?
When I wake up, when my eyes open and when I'm in bed, I'm waking up, my body and brain wakes up I think I'm a woman. It's not until my feet hit the floor and do I hear the creaks of the floor and realize how much weight I'm carrying, do I remember I'm a man.
Yeah, because when the feet hit the floor, they're shaped like a high heel.
Yeah.
So you're still a woman until you stand up and you carry all that weight.
Yeah, and then I just see my penis, and then one day
do you have body dysmorphia when you look in the, what is that, gender dysphoria?
Gender dysmorphia, yeah.
It must be weird to have the soul of a woman and then see a you have a manly head.
I know.
Your head looks like it's a helmet.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like if my face and I put on a helmet.
Right.
Like, it's like you have a natural helmet. You got a big protruding male brow.
Right.
You look like a real guy's guy, and then you come out and your soul is like this.
Yeah, I'm coming out. I'm
your
dancing.
soul works. Yeah.
I'm working, having a good time.
You're a man. You walk, you present as a man, but your soul is 100% Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, baby. I come, I love it, I'm alive. Yeah, no, it's just what it is.
Finally, sports are back.
They're back.
And I just made a little money because I was predicting, hopefully, that Djokovic was going to hit a judge in the throat with a tennis ball. It was a very specific bet, and I won it.
Yeah, and you freaking won it. So what you're going to do now is go to MyBookie and use the promo code Hyenas, Hyenas. And if you put in, let's say, $60, they're going to match it. So you're going to get $120 to bet. So they're going to match any bet you do. If you go to MyBookie and use the promo code Hyenas, they're going to bet. Like I, this morning, was like, you know what I want to bet on? I bet you that Odell Beckham Jr. likes to get poop on his chest. And guess what, baby? It came out today that OBJ likes to get pooped on his chest. And please welcome the Cleveland Steamers to the field.
Guys, you could bet on any sport, anything. MyBookie.ag is the website. Go, enter that promo code. Bet on, because I want to, like, there's got to be, you could bet on anything?
You could bet on whatever the hell you want to bet on. Football, baseball, basketball, coin flips. I mean, how low do you want to go?
Look, let's just be honest. There's 3 levels of enjoying sports.
Right.
One of them is you're just a sport fan and you're watching the sport.
Right.
The second one is you're watching the team that you love, so you're emotionally invested.
Yeah.
The third and best one is you got a little scratch on, you got a little juice on the game.
You got a little juicy on the game. Because MyBookie, promo code Hyenas, they're going to match your bet. Let's do it. You could parlay to parlay, do whatever the hell you want. The winning seasons are back at MyBookie. Yeah.
Come on. It's been really hard with COVID. We could all use a little fucking adrenaline rush. So let's go. I got 50 on the fucking football season.
Yeah, I got a hundo that says China already's got the vaccine because they made the virus. New customers can sign up with promo code Hyenas to double their deposit and receive an instant cash bonus. Survivor Street contest begins week 2 of the NFL season. Make bets against the spread every week until you go bust. Only $5 re-entry. Yeah, no, it's just what it is. Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I would say 70% sure that if I make it to 50, the last 50 I will try to go as a woman.
Now,
to feel it.
If you banged out Jessica La Bombalera,
right,
and you found out she was Jessica Krug, would you get less attracted to her?
Less attracted.
So you're
more attracted. Yeah, her as Jessica La Bombalera with the nose ring. I mean, she's gonna get the construction boot. She's gonna get one off the face.
Yeah. Now, if you want to know what a construction boot means, it's just like picture somebody who's just been painting all day what their boot looks like.
Yeah, it's a lot of white stuff all over it. All right, now, so let's.
Did you see her though as Bombalera? She kind of looked like a piece.
Yeah, as Bombalera, she looks like a piece.
And
but
Rachel Dolezal also was kind of like a piece.
But here she just looks like a fat, like lesbian.
Yeah. So here's Jessica La Bombalera.
Let's hear.
Mark Viverito, who used to be the speaker of your city council, sold my fucking neighborhood to developers and gentrifiers. So I got a couple of things to say. And when y'all come on and tell me my time stops, fuck out of here. It's been 7 hours. Not only did I have to listen to these cops, and not just the cops, but to be honest with y'all city council members, you posing like you opposing them for your sound bites, for your social media, for your re-election campaigns. Fuck out of here. You've been supporting the cops in the pandemic.
Ain't nothing.
When the MTA was strapped and you supported putting more cops on the MTA. Fuck out of here. We know where you're coming from, and we know what these little
I could tell it's an accent.
I also want to call out all these white New Yorkers who waited 4 hours
She was
with
beloved.
us
You know, a lot of it, you can get away with this amount of bullshit in that world because, let's just be honest, most of that world is bullshit.
Bullshit.
I mean, you go to study like or you're taking a class on fucking whatever. It's all bullshit. Math and science and history, what happened, it's what it is. This whole like activist version of academics, it's all bullshit. You could come in and say anything. It's like this whole fucking field or culture of liberal arts through the lens of like fucking victimization comes with a certain amount of bullshit. Bullshit. Because humans are shit no matter what color they are, and they're also great no matter what color they are.
It's just whatever.
So this shit is actually more racist than anyone who's walking down the street who's fucking going, you know what, we got to get rid of this certain, whatever the fuck they're saying. Because, you know what I mean? At least that person, you know who they are.
Yep.
And you know, okay, they're small-minded. Whereas this is an actual fucking vulture. She's like a leech. She's saying I'm against gentrification. She is the gentrifier.
Well, okay, but why did Jessica Krugi, Bombalera, why did she come out and say...
She got outed by a...
But I was going to say, so it's not like it was on her own accord, like she had this existential crisis inside of her. Something was about to go down, and she said, let me M&M it.
She came clean, and she M&M'd it, right? She 8-miled it by coming out to try to get ahead of it and just admit everything because it was about to come out. She had been found out. She was a Jewish woman from the suburbs of Kansas City, went to private school. She's been estranged from her family. She even skipped her own mother's funeral because she felt like that would expose her.
Because her mother's white.
Her mother's white. She's white. So it was a Latin student, an Afro-Caribbean Latin student who started to question her when they started to actually talk about this prominent Hispanic writer who this Cuban Afro-Cuban writer, or activist,
she didn't know
who they knew, who's a member of history in these fields or whatever, and it turned out that they found out in retrospect he was lying. He wasn't Afro-Cuban, so he was lying to pass in this world of like, hey, what's up? You know, fucking, we're trying to, the white devil's everywhere.
Wow.
So then,
a student uncovered this?
Student was about to uncover it, and she came clean in medium.
Oh, what actually? Can we read the story? Like,
yeah, that's what happened. So the student was about to catch her, so she came out. She said, "I'm not a culture vulture. I'm a culture leech. From a great part of my adult life, I've been living a lie." She's been lying. And the best thing is like she goes hard. She attacks white people constantly. One of her neighbors was a white woman, always said, like, this is the problem with y'all.
She's a smart kid. She's got a PhD from the University of Wisconsin.
She's got a PhD in this bullshit. I mean, let's be honest. What the fuck is sociology and gender studies? It's bullshit. You got a PhD.
It's a good point.
I'm not calling anyone who's got a PhD in fucking sociology a doctor. We need to stop that.
Yeah.
Let's just call it something else. What can we call it? You got a PhD in bullshit, so it's a PhB.
Yeah.
You're a fucking something bullshit.
Yeah, post-humoral doctorate, post-humoral bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you're a doctorate, but you're closer to a doctorate than these people who have a doctorate.
Well, because of the medical field, yeah.
Because at least you can fucking put your hands on my balls and tell me if I got cancer, and I need to ask you again, can we do it after the episode?
Do you really? Are you having some problems again?
No, but you're a guy, here's the thing. You're a guy, when you touch another man, you know how to separate and do it medically.
Yeah.
Because you've touched my back a few times, and I didn't feel weird.
Right.
I didn't feel like gay about it. You know how to just put that aside and handle someone physically medically.
Yeah, but cuz, make no mistake, after I did that to you, I fucking went home and I fucking hit my pocket pussy hard. Yeah.
Cuz you're a doctor. You're a doctor. You're a fucking doctor.
I'm a fucking doctorate.
I mean, you're a doctorate.
So this lady, Jessica La Bombalera, much like Clarence King, for whatever, Clarence King decided to do it for love. She decided to do it to be a victim and to get involved, to get ahead in life. I think there is a crime here, though. I understand the 10-year rule, which I'm willing to give you a pass on this, but there should be some crime here that needs to be kind of brought up now.
But no, it's the same thing as like the Long Island Medium or John Edward. What was his name?
John, yeah, it's like you want to believe the bullshit.
I mean, if you want to believe it,
it's a good point.
If you're there, I mean, it's like, well, you're going to put up the Long Island Medium on charges because she's pretending to speak to Larry? I mean, if you
because my mom's been talking to a dog psychic, trying to get in touch with Larry. She's saying he's not there yet.
I'm going to pass out because I got COVID too, so I'm extra lightheaded.
Because you're going to pass out like D.L. Hughley.
Because why are some things so funny to me You're the life I created in my head for your childhood is the cartoon, and it's funny to me. You're a funny guy. The neutrals are funny to me.
Yeah.
The characterizations we've made of your family are funny. Larry's death is funny.
Yeah.
Jessica La Bombalera hits me in that same funny place.
My mom's gonna get a new dog, and I'm gonna name it Jessica La Bombalera.
And just the dog is fucking So if you
how's your dog? How's Isla?
Isla's great.
Running around in the backyard.
Isla's great. She truly is a Puerto Rican.
Yeah, she truly is a Puerto Rican.
Because this would be like me, because my character, Maurisa, her story is she's half Puerto Rican, half Czech. Maybe I should just do a video of her coming out as like she was Czech the whole time, and the Puerto Rican thing was an act. But this would be me if I tried to live as Maurisa full time, and pass as a Puerto Rican woman from the Lower East Side, or as me as Yannis Pappas. I just said my name is Yannis Pappas. Yeah, I'm from the Lower East Side. Yo, what's up? What's up? And I just pretended like I was Sergio's real cousin.
And please, for the love of God, make that the last Maurisa video. You can't have a kid and also be Maurisa.
It's gotta end.
It's gotta end. So do that, make it a good one, and then fucking retire that bitch already.
It gotta retire it anyway, because guess what? It's curtains. People don't want it anymore.
Oh yeah?
No,
I always want it.
No, she's got good fans, but I'm saying it's she had a good run of 10 fucking years.
2010, 2011, 2012, that was the fucking Maurisa years.
I would say, she had a run, dude. I mean, still...
Maybe even more.
There's still hardcore fans. I mean, I put up the videos and her fans...
Some of them are fans of this podcast.
Tons. We got a lot of people who come here, and more should come. And look, I'm never going to retire because she's fun. I got a lot of characters she's fun to do. But yeah, I mean, everything has its shelf life. People don't want to know that things have a run, and then you got to move on.
You move on.
That's
move
what
it or
it is.
lose it, sister.
It's very rare you come across like a Howard Stern. Dude, you got to give those people credit. Rolling Stones, Howard Stern, U2.
They just Bill Cosby, if he wouldn't have gotten caught.
Wei Zhongzhen.
Bill Cosby always would adapt. I mean, his off-the-stage crimes are heinous, but you got to separate the artist from the crime. It's like the guy would adapt. He was famous in every decade.
God, Hootie's having a good run.
Yeah, Hootie and the
Darius Ruck is
Blowfish
having a good run.
Yeah, didn't he just performed at Dave Chappelle camp?
Yeah, people don't know. Even Dave Chappelle's run. Dave Chappelle stopped doing run. But he stopped doing stand-up for like 12 years.
And then came right the fuck back.
Right the back.
And Nimesh Patel was right there with him.
He was right there with him. So Jessica Bombalera.
Nimesh Patel's going to come on the podcast. I keep delaying it.
Yeah, I think we said in another episode, we think that he's Osama bin Laden.
It could be us, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. Reality's a suggestion. Jessica La Bombalera is going to become an adjective for us somehow in our lexicon.
Should we make t-shirts Jessica La Bombalera?
I think, I'm feeling like, my inner spirit child is Jessica La Bombalera. So she got caught. So I love her because she co-opted all of it. Yeah. She was African, and then she was like, you know what, let me get a little bit more. So she was like, I'm also Puerto Rican or whatever, or Dominican or whatever she was. And then she said, let me get a little Caribbean in there. She was like, I think she was about 1 month away from also saying she was Jamaican and Indian.
It's funny how you just get into like a little lie, and then it just has to go on for about 20 years. I used to tell people in high school I was half Egyptian.
It's what it is. And for a little while at the beginning, you were Italian?
Yeah, and now I'm not.
Now you're not. Now you've come out as what you are, mostly German, a little bit of Irish, 100% Republican.
100% Republican. Yeah, and my last name is not Distefano, it's Weisenmuller.
It's Weisenmuller Kid.
Yeah, kid. It's what it is, because we got to get back to Germany. Open up the borders, you fucking Democratic. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's what it is. We're on a podcast. Oh yeah, but I mean, you let one fly.
Is it live?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, just bleep it out with rainbows.
Here's what we got to do.
Make sure you bleep that one out.
Yeah, you got to bleep that one up. Throw some cackles over it. So the fight for this money, for this estate that he left his black family.
Right.
By the way, he was a great guy.
Because I'm sitting like a sphinx again.
Yeah, sit like a sphinx. He did this at the time because he felt like it wasn't accepted, but he dreamed about a time, much like Martin Luther King, and we'll pull up the quote. He said, hopefully one day there won't be Irish people, there won't be black people, there'll just be one American race.
Right, which it needs to happen now because America is just a big experiment, and the experiment, maybe it's working, maybe it's not, but oh yeah, here's the quote, Yanni, but it's just like, yeah, at some point, we need to be the country where like when they go to Scotland or Africa, they're not like, oh, what nationality are you? You're just that country. It needs to get to that. Yeah, where, hey, we're just American. And then we got to get unified.
Yeah, because most of it is just cultural differences. Just start borrowing each other's cultures. That's why I hate when they say you're a culture vulture, whatever. Hey, if you're not lying about who you are and you love someone else's culture, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
That's how cultures evolve, by sharing with one another. Just like share the good parts of the culture and create new cultures. We're all American. Who fucking cares? It's just culture.
Enough with the cultural appropriation. That should be out the fucking window.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to a fucking mosque tomorrow because I want to fucking get a little bit of that culture.
It's what it is.
It's all beautiful. There's beautiful parts and there's negative parts. There's good ideas, bad ideas. Just fucking cherry pick. You're American. You're free. Open the border.
Open the fucking border.
So he said. So his quote was.
Can you read this, baby?
Mr. King said, Clarence King said he hopes, as he put it, quote, no more Irish or Germans, Negroes, and English, but only Americans, belonging to one defined American race. That's what he hoped for.
Said that in 1901.
He sent it in 1901. So that's what he hoped for. So he left it. So there was a 30-year battle. This is also significant. So after he died, he tried to leave this to his, quote unquote, at the time they would call it Negro family.
Right.
And his boy, John Hay. Now that's a boy. That's a friend.
That's a friend, yeah.
That's how you know a true friend, when like the guy's not even here to see the good deed that his friend is doing.
Right.
I feel like this is something you would do for me because you're a good friend.
You want to hear a nice little quote that I think you'll like? The sign of a good society is when old men plant trees, they know the shade they'll never sit under. Yeah.
Why'd your jaw pop out of that, Beavis?
Just because I just wanted to fucking hit you with a quote.
But you hit it and then your jaw popped out.
I hit the jaw. I don't know, because make no mistake, I ordered 3 chains and one of them just arrived at my house.
Because we're getting ready for Chain Out Guy Chrissy.
Chain Out Guy, that's
a good quote.
But it's a good quote, and it's what John Hay is doing.
Yeah, so John Hay was actually a statesman. He was a private secretary and assistant to Abraham Lincoln. I mean, this kid had Abraham Lincoln's ear. So what John Hay did, and then his daughter or son continued to do.
You don't want to assume gender, yeah.
Whatever it was. After he died, he continued to provide Ada Copeland with money, a stipend to help
every
them live.
month. That's like my aunt whose husband got killed. She would get money every month too from the guys that killed her husband.
Yeah, and that's
just mafia rules.
Yeah, those guys saw your aunt's husband. They saw him. They came and saw him in a different way.
They came and saw him in a different way.
And they took him physically.
And now they own multiple bars and restaurants on 3rd Avenue in Bay Ridge.
And we shouldn't be talking about this on the potty.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're joking because she did get a paper bag full of cash. Because what are they fucking on him all?
Yeah, what are they? What are they fucking Mulans?
Wei Zhongzhan, Wei Zhongzhan.
I mean, it's gonna get away from just making noise. Yeah, I mean,
I said Mulans. You said Disney movie.
Wei Zhongzhan. Wei Zhongzhan.
So he continued to provide, and so then there was a 30-year battle to try to get this money for her, and the court eventually determined in 1933. So 30 years after his death, the court decided that it was his daughter Helen. It was John Hay's daughter. It was his daughter that continued to give Ada Copeland a stipend on behalf of his friend after he died. So Ada Copeland continued to get this money, and it eventually stopped. And Copeland, until her death, continued to live in that house that John Hay, his friend, had bought for her. She died in 1964 at 101 fucking years old.
That's a long life.
That is a fucking long life. And during this fight, this 30-year battle to gain control of the trust fund that he had promised her, her representatives included Everett Waring, who was the first black lawyer to argue a case before the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Significant. And J. Douglas Wetmore, who contested segregation laws in Jacksonville, Florida. So this was kind of a civil rights fight.
Right.
And it's kind of an underrated story in history of a man who had a love for a black woman, who had a secret family like your granddad.
It's what it is, cuz. It's what it is. Very, very true. Do you like, because I get horned up, I like to look at like trash, like not trash, but like fucking big tits, fat asses, tattoos on the tits, Kardashian type shit. Do you jerk off to like different women that get prominent seats in Congress? Do you like that?
Yeah.
Does it turn you on when somebody just goes left?
Yeah, I was reading Jessica La Bombalera's book. Yeah, about I don't know what it was called. There's something about how the white people have leprosy and they're the devil and whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
The evils of gentrification
Sure.
and the silencing of brown and black voices.
Yeah.
And I jerk off to that.
Yeah, that's what you like to do.
Paragraph by paragraph, I just get hard. Much like the way Mike Tyson said in his Joe Rogan interview, he's like, what's that, Joe? Because you're a smart person. Did you listen to it, by the way?
No, but I'm going to listen.
It's comedy.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, he goes, it's hurting somebody, it's orgasmic. He said, what is it called, Joe, when I get hard, when you hit somebody, you get hard from, like, your penis gets erect. So he said his penis gets erect when he hurts someone.
Yeah, that's what happened. But didn't we talk about doing an episode about how certain serial killers, when they were choking the life out of a person, they would get hard?
Yes.
They get hard fucking cocks.
Yes. So Mike Tyson was saying...
Cuz, that's you when you're reading a good novel. Cuz you are fucking intellectual. Make no mistake, any John Steinbeck novel you own, those pages are stuck together.
Yeah, here's the thing about me. I didn't know there was all these terms about... I think, a sapiosexual...
Oh, yes. I was put on just recently on what a sapiosexual is.
So, and I get attracted to people for intelligence. What's that called?
Sapiosexual, I thought.
I mean, Loaf doesn't know because his girlfriend is attracted to him because of the fucking size of his meat.
Yeah, it's what it is. Loaf's got a fucking pee.
Because if his glue gun was a gun, it would be an AR-15.
Yeah, because, there's been a couple of times...
I got a 22.
There's been a couple of times where Loaf is like, oh, we're missing a cord for one of the cameras. I'm like, just put your dick in it.
Yeah.
Why? Can't you just put your dick in it and charge up the computer?
I got a 22. He's got an AR-15. And you got a garden hose because every time you send me a video, it's limp.
It's just I got a limp fucking biscuit because, no, you got it. Yeah,
it doesn't get hard unless you suck my dick, babe.
It's just what it is because, Mick, I got a kish. I got a pussy.
What? Why don't you get it tattooed right above your dick where it says, I don't get hard unless you suck my dick, babe?
Unless you suck, I'll put it around. I don't get hard unless you suck my dick, babe.
That was another classic moment from our podcast.
I know that we had to delete. I'm very close to getting that Iranian clip back.
That's good. Did we delete the Christina? We deleted that episode? That episode's out there.
Did we delete? Did we pull a Joe Rogan and delete? Did Spotify delete it?
Did Spotify delete it? Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Rogan, yeah. I mean, history of Joe Rogan's up there. I'm gonna be. I will be. I don't know when this episode's coming out. When is it? Like in 3-4 weeks. So come see me tonight or tomorrow or whenever.
October 1st to the 3rd.
October 1st to the 3rd. Stress Factory in New Brunswick. If there's tickets left.
Yes, what it is. There will be no tickets left. Sold it out, baby. Go to Chris D. First of all, for those shows, go to YannisPappasComedy.com or HistoryHyenas.com. For my shows, ChrisDComedy.com or HistoryHyenas.com. October 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'm sorry, October 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We will be me and Andrew Santino will be in Delaware, Scranton, Pittsburgh, and Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And then October 23rd at 8 p.m. live streaming anywhere you live in the world. You can see me do a set in front of a real audience, live into your living room, all new material, hour-long set, October 23rd, 8 p.m. Go to ChrisDComedy.com for tickets or WallStreetTheater.live for tickets. It's a streaming event anywhere you live. Go get those tickets and watch me live.
And here's a very important thing I want to say. Be proactive, please. Tell your friends who you think might like the History Hyenas podcast.
Yes.
And all the stuff we do, tell them about it. Spread the word. Post about it in your stories constantly. Tweet about it. Whatever it is, it really matters. It's the most important thing, actually. And for those of you who've done it, you've made a difference. You've helped us grow. The matriarchy continues to grow. We're taking over the Serengeti. We are the hyenas. Wave your pseudo penises in the air. And when you see us, try to touch Binky in his Modell shorts and feel that loaf.
Yeah, feel that fucking little baby loaf. Okay. As always now, the people who went to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. If you want to join the matriarchy and see all the behind the scenes stuff and all the extra episodes we put out, Conspiracy Cuties, Wepo Wednesdays, live walk and talks, whatever we decide, I'm telling you, the value is unbelievable. Nobody puts more content on Patreon than us. That's just a fact. It's not even being cocky. It's just an objective fact. Patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. Join the matriarchy. If you join at the $10 level, we read your name out on the podcast. We encourage funny names that make us laugh. The winner gets the PPW, the pseudo penis of the week. All right, so let me just get to it. If just hold, please.
You get to it, and I'll say this. If you haven't joined the Patreon at all, if you join now, you get the whole back catalog. For a while, we were doing WEPA every day. We have Lattiforte.
Then I burned out.
Huh? Then Chrissy burned out. But we have so much content that you can go back and binge. So if you're loving the Hyenas and you want more, as the old expression goes, we got a lot of more at patreon.com/BayRidgeBoy, our channel. Go be a part of that community. People interact with each other on the community board. It's amazing, and we appreciate it.
Also, the episodes, no cackles and no ads.
No cackles and no ads, except unless there's cackles for legal reasons. Our lawyer, Chrissy's sometimes has to be tethered. Sometimes you got to put the collar on him, leash him up. And because there's kids in the park.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome to the matriarchy, Ronald King, Mike.
Wait, Ronald King?
Ronald King.
A lot of Kings going on this
Ronald
episode.
King's on the list for his own name.
Is he a white guy, black guy? We don't know.
Ronald King, let's put him on the list because it's Shuan King's brother.
He's a quadroon.
Mike, Austin Harkis, Steven, Will Riggs. Then we got Bukaki Beanie Baby.
Bukaki Beanie Baby goes right onto the list.
Then we got newly appointed Father Bill Berkowitz, buried his gay in my throat.
On the list, close to getting the History Hyenas podcast.
Close.
Yeah, because any Father Bill that blows us away, we will give you the podcast.
Then we got Jason Landes. Then we got Lynn. Lynn joined the Patreon.
That's a chicken finger that's going right into the fucking, right into the Drexler list.
After Larry passed, Lynn is on the Patreon.
Lynn's
Hey,
on.
Mom. Then we got Sterling Pascal.
Let me just say this. I give you a lot of credit doing this podcast and continue to do this podcast with the gusto that you do, knowing that your entire family, both sides, all three sides.
Yeah.
Father, daughter, and then your baby mama. Everyone's listening to this podcast.
And everybody doesn't like me anymore.
No, yeah, so I give you credit. You lay it all out there for the fans.
It's what it is. But the truth of the situation is most people are not going to like you, and you're just going to have to accept it. You're not going to please everybody.
Yes, and it doesn't matter. Life is short. Have fun. Do what you love.
Have fun. Do what you love. Tom, Roger Ryan Mercury, Austin Christopherson, Crystal Divine, Vincenzo Pacheco.
Wait, Vincenzo Pacheco's he's going to get a Drexler just because his name is Vincenzo.
Vincenzo. Then we got Jason. Then we got just a Toledo squeak that could use Yanni and Chrissy's masturbation de-escalation to make me peak.
On the list.
Caesar Bluffington, Mike Klein, Miguel Ortega. Then we got Bacan them Jays in the oven for Jesus Ladder 14. Okay.
You went for something there.
Then we got Claire Friedrich. Then we got I love my cutie 33rd degree fume mason. Oh, Aluma cutie 33rd degree fume mason. That's a good name.
That's a good name. It's a Drexler. Good, though.
Then we got cuz if Tim Dillon isn't the next Messiah, I'll suck off the first Sandra DIC, Trump 2020, AOC 2024.
I mean, those guys just go fully charged.
That's what it is.
We gotta. Do we need to add a fully charged list?
Fully charged, yeah.
You make it on the fully charged list.
Then we got, I think the robe rats cracked open JFK's head after that peace speech. Okay.
Fully charged.
Then we got Backstreet, BB, touch my PP, jiggle my cheeks to watch the glue fall out of me. Okay.
Fully charged.
Then we got, Tess with the 3-finger tickle under your cute little chirks because that's the handshake you deserve.
Go with Bay Ridge Boys fan. Go watch our series, Bay Ridge Boys.
There we go. Papa Kesey, Haley Marks. Then we got Yanni is fat.
That's a chicken finger that's going into Drexler.
Then we got small piece, big balls. Hey, y'all from Arkansas.
That's going on the list, and that's a contender into the playoffs. I'm just going to start putting certain people into the playoffs.
Then we got Rob Foster. Then we got Father Stu, gave me the glue in the back pew, too.
That is a Drexler. It's a good one.
Then we got Indian from Iraq, a.k.a. Dances with Fumes.
On the list, obviously.
On the list.
Yeah.
Then we got Alexander Griswold. Then we got Joey Marinara Stains.
Jerry Marinara Stains is a Drexler.
Then we got Patricio Ortiz, biological father of Venetia's future kids. But make no mistake, I'm open to co-parent with Chris because he's a piece.
Okay, it's a good.
Then we got Austin, a.k.a. Venetia, is a character piece. Piece. Okay, calling her a piece.
Okay.
Then we got Chrissy D. Is Chrissy disinfect the fish smell from your puss because god damn, I could smell it from here and the fumes are fucking killing me. Then we got Rafa.
Fully charged.
Joseph Ballows, Matt Hamilton. Then we got Queefton. Jonathan Seeley. Then we got Chrissy Cuckold, Cuckadoodle-Doo, Yanni and his Pappas Glazer.
Drexler.
Then we got Wani the ICE bucket. Wani the ice bucket. Okay, so he's saying he's ice. Then we got Pippin Pippinger. Then we got Breaking the Ice podcast. So somebody's just promoting their podcast on our Patreon.
Screwed In. That's
Breaking the Ice podcast. Go check them out.
Yeah, that's another list called Screwed In.
Yeah. Then we got Spencer Crooks, a.k.a. Steel Pipe Spency, a.k.a. my dad drank when I was young because I have fumes. Then we got Gabriel Ramirez. Then we got if Zach Isis was a salsa monkey, he'd be called Zach Sisi. Okay.
Shout out to Zach Isis.
Then we got Paulie W., the $3 Pisces eating zucchini slices.
I like it. Hey, if our Patreon gets to 100,000 a month,
Yeah.
we'll bring Zach Isis back.
I'll bring him back when we get to 100K.
Yeah, if we get to 100K, we'll bring him back, and he won't do anything. It will just be around.
Then we got Meet Me in the Back because Nero wants that peace. Then we got Alex, David Barrett, Brendan Beaver. Then we got Jinky. Make no mistake, if baby Gianna comes out looking like her Bompus, we may have to change her name to Chaz Bono. It's what it is. What's a Bompus?
I don't know, but I'm just uncomfortable that the fans know the name of my daughter.
But you said it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Okay, you can always change your name.
Yeah, let's call it. Her name is going to be La Bombalera.
La Bubada.
Jessica La Bombalera.
Then we
Because
got-
if my daughter grows up to be transracial, I'm going to love her anyway.
It's just, you have
She
to.
just like, look, I'm not with this Greek culture shit. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
I'm going to say your daddy did that too with a character.
Then we got Irish with fumes, but at least I'm not a Jew. Okay, I walk into that one,
Wait,
and
you
we don't
walk
condone
into
that.
that one, yeah.
We don't condone that. Carlos Hernandez. Then we got Silly Willie, the Irish Catholic prodigy who's running laps around your mom's chute. Then we got Johnny Tuna Calves.
Johnny Tuna Tabs.
Tuna Calves.
Johnny Tuna Cabs is a chicken finger that safely walks into the Drexler list.
Then we got Hayden LaBelle, Betty, Chris Mack. Then we got Stinky Bubby. Then we got Plantain Poppy, Bailey Stone, James Trailer. Then we got Make No Mistake, I'm a $3 bill. I got it. Make no mistake, I'm a $3 build that wall Trump 2020. Said I'm a $3 build that wall Trump 2020.
BILL/ED. Creative points gets you in the Drexler.
Here we go. Now we got one. It's a new one.
It's been a pretty weak list, I'm being honest with
Well,
you.
this one changes it. Fumara Harris.
Was there for the taking. I mean, let's call a winner when a winner happens.
Yeah, so there's only a few more, but Fumara Harris is in a comfortable lead right now.
Comfortable lead.
Then we got David blamed me for not holding my breath long enough because it wasn't magic. Joseph Serna, Kevin Stross, Darby Ewell. Then we got Jay, my girlfriend, tried licking my smashed bean, but passed out from the fumes bad. So the winner's Fumara Harris. I don't think we even need to discuss it.
Last one is a Drexler. I got to admit, that was the weakest list. And then
In a while.
Fumara Harris came in and saved us. Look, guys, I'm just comparing. Like, this list is a Drexler compared to other lists. Doesn't mean there was some good ones, but we've had so many bangers that this one was kind of like Fumara Harris came in and saved it at the end.
Because Kamala Harris, it's been there for the take. Some of them have been there for the taking for so long, and there's ones that are even right now that we're not thinking of it. Someone's going to get it.
I mean, the other one, what was the other one? Last episode was Shuan King.
Shuan King.
I mean, that was there for the caking.
So Fumara Harris, you're the PPW pseudo penis of the week. Tell your friends. Patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. Keep supporting us. History Hyenas. Follow us on YouTube. History Hyenas clips page. Follow us. Like, subscribe. Turn your notifications. Tell a friend. Gay.
Yeah, and go review us on iTunes. Love you. We really hope you enjoyed that episode, whatever it was about. This is just a stock thing that we're taping onto every episode. So go make sure you rate, review us, subscribe, turn on your notifications, get jiggy with it.
And go to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys where things get really wild.